If the power went off tonight for 7 days, most British homes would not collapse because people are lazy or stupid. They would collapse because modern life has quietly removed the old skills that kept families alive for centuries. Think about it. Within hours, the fridge starts warming, the freezer becomes a countdown timer, the boiler might stop, the Wi-Fi disappears, the card machine at the shop is useless. Your phone becomes a torch with a dying battery. Suddenly, the house feels full of possessions but short of useful things. Now, compare that with families during the American Civil War. No grid, no supermarkets, no electric lights, no central heating, no online delivery. And yet many survived shortages, sieges, disease, broken supply lines, crop failures, and forgotten knowledge. So, I'm giving you 25 old survival tricks from that era. Translated for a modern 7-day UK blackout, I'm not saying we should live in the past. I'm saying that when the modern system fails, the past suddenly becomes useful again. Number 25, hard track. This was survival bread. Flour, water, salt, rolled flat and baked until it was bone dry. No yeast, no fridge, no softness, nothing fancy, but it lasted. In a blackout, bread goes stale or mouldy quickly. Hard track is basically a calorie brick. You can eat it dry, soak it in soup, dip it in tea, or break it into stew. Learn how to make basic long-life flatbread and crackers before you need them. Number 24, the earth fridge. Before fridges, people used the ground, a cellar, buried box, shaded shed floor, or even a cool outdoor container can keep certain food cooler than a warm kitchen. In a blackout, don't keep opening the fridge every 10 minutes. You're releasing cold you already paid for. Eat fridge food first, keep the freezer shut. Move stable food somewhere cooler if safe. Cold is a resource, treat it like one. Number 23, pine needle tea. People use the plants around them for warmth, flavor, and nutrition. Pine needle tea was one example because they contain vitamin C. But don't randomly drink anything from a tree because a YouTube video said so. The real lesson is to learn 5 safe, common wild plants in your area. Not 50, 5. In Britain, that might be nettle, blackberry, dandelion, plantain, and cleavers. Knowledge turns weeds into resources. Number 22, the small fire. In the Civil War, smoke could attract danger. In a UK blackout, smoke can attract attention, annoy neighbours, and waste fuel. The trick is not a huge dramatic fire, it is a small, dry, controlled fire that cooks quickly. Dry wood, good airflow, small flame, lid on the pot. A bad, wet fire eats logs and produces smoke. A good fire cooks food. Number 21, salt preservation. When your freezer starts thawing, you have a problem. You either cook the food, preserve it, share it, or lose it. Salt has been used for centuries to slow spoilage by drawing out moisture, but this is not something to casually improvise with raw meat if you've never practiced. The modern lesson is planning. Have salt, have a food thermometer, have freezer bags, have a way to cook in bulk, and know what you'll do when the freezer becomes day one food. Number 20, cornmeal cakes. Civil War families made simple breads from cornmeal, water, and salt. No oven, no yeast, no complicated recipes. In Britain, you can make the same idea with oats, flour, or basic flatbread dough. This is why I like storing ingredients, not just tins. Tins are easy, ingredients are flexible. Flour, oats, rice, lentils, beans, salt, oil. That is the backbone of an emergency pantry. Number 19, layered lighting. Historically, people made candles and lamps from fat and wicks. Today, I'm not telling you to play around with indoor flames unless you understand fire safety. But I am telling you this, one torch is not a lighting plan, you want layers. Head torch, lantern, spare batteries, power bank, solar garden light, safely stored candles, matches, and lighters. Number 18, vinegar and cleaning. Vinegar was used historically for cleaning and I still use it today. The important point is hygiene. By day 2 of a blackout, people start cutting corners. Hands don't get washed properly, chopping boards get reused, toilets become awkward, bins fill up. That is where illness starts. Survival is not just water filters and axes, it's washing your hands. Number 17, disease killed more than drama. This is the part most survival channels skip. In old conflicts, huge numbers of people died from disease, dirty water, poor sanitation, and infection. Not dramatic movie scenes, basic hygiene failure. So ask yourself honestly, can your household wash hands without running hot water? Can you manage toilet waste? Can you keep raw food separate? Can you clean surfaces? If the answer is no, buy fewer gadgets and more boring supplies. Number 16, smoking food. People used to smoke to preserve meat and fish, but again, food preservation needs knowledge. Don't assume smoke makes everything safe forever. The useful lesson is that fuel, heat, salt, airflow, and time can turn fresh food into longer lasting food if you know what you're doing. Practice before a crisis. Use a barbecue. Learn safe cooking temperatures. Learn what can be eaten first. Preparedness is not panic buying, it is rehearsing. Number 15. Charcoal and sand filtering. Old field filters used gravel, sand and charcoal to make dirty water clearer. But clearer does not mean safe. A homemade filter can remove mud in bits, but boiling does not remove chemicals. That matters, so your water plan should be layered. Store tap water first, boiled water if needed. Proper filter. Water is where you stay boring and careful. Number 14. Ash and root storage. Wood ash was used to keep root vegetables dry and protected. The modern version is to store foods that already want to survive. Potatoes, onions, carrots, apples, oats, rice, pasta, lentils, beans, tins. A freezer full of luxury food is lovely until power goes off. Number 13. Fat as fuel. Lard, dripping and tallow were once everyday resources. They cooked food, added calories, protected leather, and in some cases provided light. Today, we forgot how important fat is. Emergency food is not just about filling your stomach, it is about energy. Rice with a spoon of oil becomes more useful. Beans with fat becomes more filling. Porridge with peanut butter becomes a proper meal. Calories matter. Number 12. Dried beans. Dried beans are cheap, compact, and powerful, but they need water and time. That is the hidden problem with a lot of emergency food. People store things they cannot cook when fuel is limited. So if you store beans, store the full system: water, pot, stove, fuel, soaking method, insulation. Which brings us to one of the best old tricks. Number 11. Siege cooking. During sieges, people stretched everything. Bones become stock. Leftovers become soup. Stale bread became filler. Weak coffee was brewed again. Nothing was wasted. In a blackout, don't eat randomly. Use the food in order. Fridge first, freezer second, fresh fruits and vegetables next. Then tins, dried food and long life staples. A calm food order can double how long your supplies feel like they last. Number 10. Homemade soap. People made soap from ash and fat, but lye can be dangerous. So I'm not suggesting you try that in a blackout. The actual lesson is simpler. Store hygiene supplies: soap, washing up liquid, laundry detergent, wet wipes, nappy bags, bin bags, gloves, toilet roll, hand gel. Everyone talks about food, but after 7 days, hygiene is what keeps the house from becoming grim. Number 9. Hay box cooking. This one is brilliant. You bring a pot of food to a boil, then place it inside an insulated box packed with towels or blankets. The trapped heat continues cooking without burning more fuel. Beans, rice, porridge, lentils can all benefit. In a blackout, fuel is precious. Boiling for 15 minutes and insulating for 2 hours is smarter than simmering for 2 hours. Old knowledge can save modern gas canisters. Number 8. Herbal first aid. Civil War doctors use plants when supplies run out. That is interesting, but modern first aid still comes first. Have a proper first aid kit: burn dressings, gloves, antiseptic, pain relief you can safely take, a thermometer, medication, and ideally training. Knowing plantain grows in the garden is nice, but knowing how to stop a serious bleed is better. Number 7. Compact calories. Pemmican was dried meat mixed with fat, dense, portable energy. The modern version is no cook emergency food. Peanut butter, nuts, oat bars, crackers, tinned fish, trail mix, dark chocolate, ready-to-eat meals. You need food that works when you cannot cook, because a cupboard full of rice is not much comfort if you have no fuel. Number 6. Boiling water. This is one of the big ones. If water might be biologically contaminated, boiling is one of the simplest ways to kill many dangerous germs, but it does not remove chemicals. So choose the cleanest source possible. Filter sediment, boil when appropriate, store in clean containers. Don't let dirty hands or dirty cups contaminate it again. Water safety is not one step, it is a chain. Number 5. Clay cooling. Unglazed clay cools water through evaporation. In damp Britain, it will not work like it does in a dry desert climate, but the principle still helps. Shade, airflow, evaporation, insulation. Keep water out of the sun. Use a wet cloth around bottles. Keep containers low and shaded. Small temperature differences matter. Number 4. Banking a fire. People used ash to cover embers overnight, keeping them alive until morning. The modern lesson is conservation. Matches, lighter, firewood, gas, batteries, candles, and water are all finite. Most people overuse resources at the beginning because it feels temporary. Number 3. Ash cakes. This was basic dough cooked near coals with minimal equipment. The lesson is to practice simple cooking without your normal kitchen. Make flatbread on a camping stove, make porridge with stored water, cook rice safely, try one meal without mains power. You learn more in one practice evening than 10 shopping trips. Preparedness becomes real when you test it. Number 2, neighbor signals. Before phones, people use lamps, flags, knocks, and agreed signals. In a blackout, community matters. A WhatsApp group is useful until phones die. So speak to neighbours beforehand. Who is elderly? Who has a stove? Who has spare water? Who checks on who? The isolated house struggles, the connected street adapts. Number 1, rationing. This is a skill that holds everything together. Most people use too much too early. Too much light, too much phone battery, too much fuel, too much water, too much food. A 7-day blackout is not won by having the most gear, it is won by slowing down. Write a food plan, water plan, lighting plan, communications plan, and start calmly from day 1. That is the real lesson from the Civil War generation. They survived because they understood fire, water, food, hygiene, neighbours, and discipline. Not gadgets, systems. And that is what I teach inside the UK Crisis Readiness System course, which is half price this month. It is the practical stuff we should have been taught in school: blackouts, water, food, first aid, communications, and family planning. The link is in the description and pinned comment. Because your family does not need fear, they need a plan. And some of the best parts of that plan were worked out long before us. We just forgot them. And again, if you want a free place to start, I recommend downloading the free blackout checklist in the pinned comment. And for the preparedness kit side of things, check out the Charlie Survival Amazon kit list. You can find that in the description. Comments down below one way you are keeping your household prepared, and subscribe for more UK preparedness and survival content. If you enjoyed this one and gained something from it, I highly recommend clicking this video on screen now about the riots in Belfast and how to prepare for riots in the UK. Click it and I'll see you over there.